Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Madden 20 Raiders Connected franchise. This is the playoffs recap. We have sim to free agency. I have not checked the winner of the Super Bowl. I am finding that out with you guys. So, in the wildcard round, the Colts defended their home against division rivals, the Titans, and the Colts won with a 14-point victory over Tennessee. The Saints went into Atlanta looking to upset the number 3 seeded Falcons, but they came just short and lost by 7 points, so Atlanta moved on. We played the Dolphins at home. We lost by 3 in an absolute gut-wrenching game. It was a good one. Watch it if you haven't. The Cowboys went to Lambeau hoping to steal one from the Packers, but the Packers did not let them. They won by 2. In the divisional round, we had the Dolphins taking on the Steelers at Heinz Field. The best team in the league just fell short. They lost by 2, so Miami, the number 5 seed, it makes it to the AFC Championship in a close one on the road. The Packers lost to the Seahawks by 11 points. CenturyLink Field stands tall, and the Seahawks, number 1 seed in the NFC, move on to the NFC Championship. The Bills destroy the Colts at home. The Colts cannot handle the weather in Buffalo, and the Bills advance. Number 2 seed will take on the Miami Dolphins, number 5 seed in the AFC Championship. The Eagles defend their home territory against the Falcons, and they let Atlanta take it. 28-1 victory for the Falcons, and they will face Seattle in the NFC Championship. In the AFC Championship, the Dolphins just beat the Bills. That is 3 close games in a row for the Dolphins. That is incredible. They've won all 3 of their games by 3 points or less. They beat the number 2 seeded Dolphins in Buffalo. Let's check out the stats here. So 463 total yards for the Dolphins, 72 rushing yards, which isn't too good. 391 passing yards. Andrew Luck had himself a day. Bills' offense wasn't great. 236 passing yards. They got outmatched. 1 turnover each on the stat sheet. And so here we go. Andrew Luck, 389 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Josh Allen, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he took 1 sack. Andrew Luck did not get sacked the entire game. On the ground, James Conner got 39 yards. That's the highest count of the day, so not a great day of rushing, except Josh Allen did get 25 yards and a touchdown. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling was the other player who got a rushing touchdown. Receiving, Preston Williams, 120 yards and a touchdown for him on 11 receptions. Mike Gesicki got 92 yards on 7 receptions. N'Keal Harry, 7 receptions, 90 yards. And Kendrick Bourne got a touchdown there, 82 yards for him on 6 receptions. And Jonathan Collins got a touchdown for himself on 1 reception of 8 yards. On defense, Tremaine Edmonds with 15 tackles, miles ahead of any of the other players. Ed Oliver had 2 tackles for loss. A lot of players had 1. QB sacks, no one got a sack? That's strange. I thought I saw that Josh Allen was sacked once. Interceptions, Raekwon McMillan, he got the interception off Josh Allen. Good for him. Next, we had the Seahawks taking on the Falcons in Seattle, and the Seahawks win that one comfortably, 35-17 for Seattle. Atlanta will not be back in the Super Bowl. And so, let's go to the player stats. Team stats. Team stats first. Seattle, 341 total yards, 104 rushing yards, and 237 rushing yards. Good all-around game for that offense. Atlanta had 66 rushing yards and 200 passing yards. Seattle had more first downs and less turnovers. The Falcons turned the ball over twice, the Seahawks once. Third down conversions. Seahawks had 7 and the Falcons had 4. The Falcons did convert once on 4th down. but it wasn't enough. Up to the player stats. Russell Wilson, 237 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He took 4 sacks. Mitchell Rogers, the sophomore, I believe, or third year, I'm not sure. 192 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not bad. On the ground, Gerald Westbrook, number 33 for the Seahawks, 11 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Good for him. Chris Carson, still playing for the Seahawks, 44 yards on the day. Not a huge offensive showcase, if I'm being honest. That's weird. Oh, huh. Yeah. There's just not much. Russell Wilson had 3 rushes for 13 yards. DK Metcalf, 87 yards on 9 receptions and 2 touchdowns for him. Austin Hooper, the tight end, 61 yards and a touchdown for him. Nick Boston, receiver for Atlanta, had 51 yards and a touchdown. On defense, Shaquille Griffin led the game in tackles with 9, and then Atlanta players followed with 7. Tackles for loss, just had a lot of players had 1. QB sacks, the Falcons, Justin Jones, Josh Sweat, Leonard Williams, and Alexander Page each had a sack, combining for 4 on the day. Interceptions, Cody Barden, Vernon Simmons, and Kevin King were the interceptors of the day. I want to know if any of them defensive touchdowns, maybe? No. Kicking, doesn't really matter, does it? Saying, nah, no field goals at all. That's strange. 5 extra points made for Zane Gonzalez, kicker for the Seahawks. So, great day for the Seahawks, and our Super Bowl matchup is the Dolphins and Seahawks in Super Bowl 59. Who is the winner? Let's find out together. The Seahawks have won the Super Bowl in a very convincing fashion, 31-10. Let's check out the stats. The Seahawks started strong. They scored 7 in the first, 10 in the second. They had a 17-0 lead at halftime, extended that to 24-0, and by then it was too late for the Falcons to mount a comeback in the fourth. They scored 10. The Seahawks scored another 7. Seahawks 368 yards on the day, Dolphins 283. Dolphins only rushed for 56, and the Seahawks rushed for 103. In the air, the Dolphins, Andrew Luck passed for 227 yards, or the Dolphins passed 227 yards, and the Seahawks 265. The Seahawks forced 3 turnovers. That must have been what decided the game. That defensive performance was outstanding, shut them out for 3 quarters, and it paid off. Let's check out the player stats. Russell Wilson, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did take 2 sacks, but so did Andrew Luck, who passed for 227 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Russell Wilson has a great pass rating of 141. Andrew Luck, pretty bad one with 67.5. A long day for Russell Wilson was a 22-yarder, and Andrew Luck's was a 31. On the ground, Chris Carson led the game in rushing yards with 74. He had a touchdown to boost. Duvon Dubs. Oh, so Kareem Hunt was injured for this game. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, that's actually very unfortunate. Duvon Dubs, the backup, ran for 38 yards. Russell Wilson ran for 25. Andrew Luck ran for 17, but he turned it over with a fumble. In the receiving game, DK Metcalf got 100 yards receiving, no touchdown, unfortunately. Floyd Jackson, 62 yards in receiving, 62 receiving yards and a touchdown with that. A few other people. Carson got 1 reception for 10 yards and a touchdown. And isn't there one more receiving Seahawks? 1. Confused. Through 3 touchdowns. Shouldn't there be 3 receivers with a touchdown? I'm quite confused, actually. Okay, that's weird. On defense, Irvin Beverly had 11 tackles and 1 for loss. That led the day in tackles. Everett Burns and Kevin King followed behind with 9. Tackles for loss, Kevin King had 2, so did Emmanuel Ogba, Glenn Semple, and Jaron Reed. Sacks on the day, Emmanuel Ogba had 1, Jaron Reed had 1, Nathan Shepard had 1, and Everett Burns as well. Interceptions, Cody Barton and Shaquille Griffin each had 1, which was good for them. And no defensive touchdowns. I'm kind of confused about the score and the stats. Something doesn't add up. Zane on field goal and 4 extra points. So that'll do it for the episode. The Seahawks are the Super Bowl champions. They are on top of the NFL world. Congrats to them. It is their second Super Bowl in franchise history. Russell Wilson still leading the charge after all these years, and the team could not be happier with him. That'll do it for the next free agency, and after that will kick off the final season of the Madden 20 Raiders Connected franchise with the draft. See you then.